So .11i is a standard, a real one, was published last year. And WPA2 is a recommendation from the Wi-Fi Alliance based on some of .11i aspects. So you have the major things, but not the whole thing. But nowadays, on the market, there's no real .1i complete implementation. So we have to stick with WPA2, but it's quite okay. So the authentication is .1x. Ciphering uses AES. So they finally realized that to cipher packets, frames, it would be better to use block cipher than stream cipher. So 4 years to figure this out. And then the integrity check is using a MIC based on AES. So now we're back to this solution is solid. It's been studied, it works quite well, and it provides good solution to Wi-Fi networking security. So you have strong mechanism, but you have some flaws that are left. On WPA, you have a mathematician who has published an attack that will allow to accelerate brute force attack against the session key. So the session key is called PTK, it's a temporal key. So the force of the attack is no more 128 bits, it's 105. So it's reduced, but it's still out of reach for now. And then you have this pre-shared key brute force. So that's quite classical. Anytime you have some pre-shared key authentication, you will have people trying to brute force it. But the thing is, even the WPA network with pre-shared key, so you have the authentication, and then you have the key calculation, so clients have different key. So if you get the PS key and you are able to sniff all the traffic, you will be able to grab all the key used by all the clients just from the authentication. So that's quite important. So for WPA PS key, you have to use at least 20 characters, at least. But I mean, the most easy thing is you take 2 files, you make an MD5 sub, you take them both, you have a 256 bits string, and you use it as a key. That's okay. And then you have attacks on countermeasures. So as I told you before, you have mechanism to try to spot replays and traffic injection. Basically, when a replay or traffic injection attack is detected, the association is broken. So the AP tells the client, you have to reassociate again. So reassociate, re-authenticate, and then you will be given another key. So the attack is quite simple. You just inject crap over the network, and then all the client will have to re-authenticate all the time. So that's very easy to do. And the last, all wireless networks are prone to physical attacks. So Wi-Fi networks, you have 2 physical attacks that are very effective, and you just can't prevent them. So the first one is jamming. So you take some kind of RF emitter, you save them on the good channel, and they will broadcast just crap to the network, and no one will be able to communicate anymore. The last one is bandwidth reservation. So using a modified firmware, you are able to bypass layer 1 restriction of the standard. As say, you will be able to emit when you are usually not allowed to do this. And the consequence is when stations are listening to the traffic and waiting for a time window to emit, they just won't find it. So no one is no more able to communicate. So that's called language reservation. So you just can't prevent this kind of attack, but it's due to the fact it's wireless network. You can do it on GSM, you can do it on WiMAX, and any wireless network. So as a conclusion, Wi-Fi environment is very insecure because it's wireless. And it's very tough to secure. It's very tough to bring security to this kind of environment. And we can't just work with amateur-style protection. I mean, I don't know what these guys had in their mind when they produced web. Web is, well. So, the conclusion is don't use web anymore. Any kind of it. I mean, even with 256 keys, it's useless. Don't use open network for public access. You have the risk of being used, and you make people take risks when associated to your network, and that's bad. And the last thing is, now we get WPA, we get WPA2. All operating system on the market supports them. So for Unix things, you have WPA supplicant, especially on Linux, which supports most of the drivers. It works on PSD2. So there's not much reason left to not to use WPA. And WPA2 is possible. And that's it. So if you have questions, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I see you speaking of web and the new WPA, WPA2, but from my room on the 5th floor here, there are 8 access points, and 4 of them are not even web protected. Do you think it's going to change with WPA and WPA2? Or do you think we'll still find more than half of them to be open?
There's a funny story about this. For Concept West, I'm involved in a French IT security magazine. And so we launched a contest, so write an article and win a trip to Concept West. And the winner is a guy who went to an area in Paris which is called La Défense. La Défense is a place where you have most of the major companies in France. And so he took his laptop and just wild drive around. So 60% of access points he found were just open. So, I mean, it's a thing of people are not learning anything from the past, and especially in computing. You can provide them tools, they will just stuck to what, I mean, it works like this, why change? So you have this end user problem. And another problem is manufacturers are reluctant to implement this. So in France nowadays you have some ISPs that provide you get your DSL access with a box, and this box is doing a router, wireless access point, you got TV, a phone, and this, and this only provides web for protection. So even if the end user wants to implement WPA, he can't. So he has to use his own access point. So, I mean, we'll still have open networks for quite a long time. But, I mean, that's it. I'm not very optimistic about the change.